Colonel Wyatt hits the screen, got stories bold and keen. Old soldier, sharp and mean, tells truths they've never seen. Rugby lover with a roar, Africa flowing in his core. YouTube rants they can't ignore, his passion makes his heart soar. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Military mind, keen and wise, truths come out, no disguise. South African skies in his eyes, hear his voice, no surprise. Retired soldier with the fight, in the dark he brings the light. Angry rants, truths ignite, join the cause, join the ride. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Enemies knocked on his door, trolls attack, but he's more with each click. Watch him soar on the truth waves, he explodes. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Right now, don't miss the brawl.
Take a picture.
Another day has arrived. We are still in the same place of disarray. Hope is in the distance. I can see a tiny glimpse of light, just a tiny, tiny light. It is there, I know it. I can feel it in my heart. I have prayed for it for oh so long. I know that it is coming our way. Tomorrow may not arrive. Yesterday has gone, but this I know. Today is gonna turn out just right. Colonel Chris is a ray of sunshine. He has arrived just in time to keep that tiny light in the horizon still burning bright. Our prayers are being answered, so don't despair. Someone we can trust, which has been a long time coming when our hopes were shattered. He is that tiny bright light in the distance. Tomorrow may not arrive. I can feel it in my heart. I have prayed for it for oh so long. I know that it is coming our way. Tomorrow may not arrive. Yesterday has gone, but this I know. Today is gonna turn out just right. Colonel Chris is a ray of sunshine. He has arrived just in time to keep that tiny light in the horizon still burning bright. Our Colonel Chris is a ray of sunshine. He has arrived just in time to keep that tiny light in the horizon still burning bright. Our prayers are being answered, so don't despair. Someone we can trust, which has been a long time coming when our hopes were shattered. He is that tiny bright light in the distance.
Hey folks, welcome back to the program. Morning where all the viewers have gone, but at least the Night Owls crowd is here. Welcome back to the program. It's Chris live in central Pennsylvania. Monday, the 11th of August, 2025. Not the best of days for me, but I must say this. Let me say this up front. I want to thank profusely the kind people who work at the Orthopedic Institute of Pennsylvania when I walked into that place this afternoon for what I understood incorrectly was going to be something to relieve the pain in my hip. I discovered that, not exactly how it was working out. Anyway, so I first came in, someone was very unhelpful, sort of standoffish and a little bit rude, and sent me upstairs. Went upstairs, and the lady upstairs was like, "Oh, did you talk to that so-and-so lady downstairs that sits at that spot?" And I said, "Yes." "Oh, yeah. Anyway, let me help you out." So she took me back downstairs, took me to the right place. She walked over and said, "Hey, can you help this gentleman out? So-and-so, you know how she is." So they got me checked in, and then I went and sat down, filled some paperwork out, and then I went and I saw, they took me for x-rays, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I was coming to get an injection." She's like, "You can't get an injection. That involves an ultrasound, and that's, I'm like, huh? Anyway, long story short, they were very helpful, and I appreciate it. I wound up seeing a doc, and I saw my x-rays, and guys, yeah, it looks like all the cartilage is gone in there, and it's bone on bone, and that's the problem. So, I mean, I don't see how I avoid getting an artificial hip. But my understanding of what artificial hip is and what they actually do are completely different, so I'm not nearly as put off by it. But the only thing I got out of it today was they did prescribe an anti-inflammatory, prescription anti-inflammatory, which should help with the pain in the short term and help my mobility. But we still need an MRI to see if there's some tissue damage. But anyway, long story short, by the time I finished, I went to the Army clinic, because that's where the pharmacy is that I collect meds from, to get the anti-inflammatories. And at 4:27, the door was locked. They'd all gone home. Supposed to be they're open until 5 o'clock. Pharmacy until 4:30. It was 4:27. And I know it wasn't 4:30 yet because the gentleman was delivering something in the building. He'd taken in a load. He'd come back out, and then he went to go back in the door, and they locked the door behind him. Not into his face, but they shut it down so he couldn't get in. He was delivering goods to the clinic, and they locked him out. So he was in the process of packing up his truck and loading it up when he said, "Oh, the door's locked. They won't let me in." I was taking stuff in, then I was like, "Oh my gosh, geez." So I didn't get the anti-inflammatories, so still suffering pain tonight. So anyway, yeah. So but I look, I got to say that the people at the clinic were very professional, very helpful, very understanding, and yeah, I'm sorry to hear about it too, Chris Marie. Yeah, so it's yeah, anyway, I suppose it was coming, and I don't know, it could have been avoided, how it could have been avoided. The damage was done a long time ago. It just took a long time for it to wear out. So anyway, yeah, so I talked to the doctor, but I'm not sold on that yet. So, but even if I get it, I mean, the earliest I could possibly go for this would be early January. Plus, I mean, if they're going to make me pay for this, I think I have to pay up to $3,000 for this, for a catastrophic cap, and I'm not too hip about paying for this crap. I mean, this is a result of the Army. I have this injury because of the Army. Why should I be paying for this? It's just wrong. If I was still in active duty, they would pay for everything. I shouldn't have to pay for any of this. This is an Army-related injury. It's just bullshit. So maybe I'll go to the Veterans Administration and get their take on it and find out, you know, what the deal is, what they say. So we'll see. But I am wondering where all the viewers went. Not you guys. You guys are here, but I'm curious where the hell all the viewers are. I mean, something odd happened today. I made 2 videos, both of which should have been big. At least one of them should have been big. My previous videos the past couple days have been 32,000, 40,000, 27,000, 77,000, 40,000, 24,000 views. And then today, on a Monday, a day in which a lot of people watch the channel, my Hank's Old Irish Pub Drama got 3,500 views. What the hell? And the DA, their press conference got 12,000. I barely beat the DA website. I barely beat their YouTube channel. They only had 9,000 views. I've got 12,000 to barely beat them. I don't know what's going on there. Is the internet down in South Africa and around the world? And I gained no subscribers today. Strange day. Really disappointing from that standpoint. Really have hit a wall here. We're 17 more subscribers today. Yeah, that's crazy. Even yesterday, which is a bad day, was 67. I don't get what's going on here. Meanwhile, we got another YouTube content creator which is making sensationalism, nothing backed up, but just rumors and getting soaring views, and I'm a little puzzled by that. I guess people don't want to hear the truth. They just rather hear sensationalist, unsubstantiated allegations and rumors. So. Damn, CB, knee replacement, that sucks. Thank you, Kathy, for watching the videos. Yeah, Bernadette, I suspect that's what's happening. I thought people don't generally not watch the content. They'll watch the content if they're aware of it. A lot of people just need to be reminded. Hey, Brett, you're gone to bed already? Good Lord, you're here for 5 seconds. Have a good night. Thank you for your 12 minutes of viewing. They only use the sonar to guide the needle into the joint to inject the... Okay, that's what I'm looking for, Hannes. That's what I thought I was getting. I thought that's what I was getting today. And instead, they wanted to give me a replacement. And I wasn't too... Hey, thank you. That's the language I need right there. That's what I need. Okay, thank you. Somebody knows. The doc told me, and I thought I was going for that today. Yeah, they use not sonar. They use ultrasound. Ultrasound to guide the needle into the joint to inject the suplacin joint lubricant lasting 4 to 6 months, usually first line before surgery is considered. That's what I thought. That's what I thought I was going for today. And it said that doctor was talking about surgery. But I looked at it. It doesn't look good, guys. I can see where calcium deposits have formed below the hip joint. I can see where there's narrowing. I can see it. I'm not a physician. I can see that. And she didn't have to point it out. I looked at it and I saw it. I'm like, oh crap. Because you should have even, space around there. And I could just, so anyway. All right, let me say hello to everybody in the chat, and then I've got some news for you. If things are not looking good, you may have tuned into this program before I went live. Many of you did, and you had a different title. I was going to talk about Hank's Old Irish Pub tonight, but tonight I'm going to talk about what came out a little over a week ago or so when people deny it. Okay, so let me clarify, because I'll probably get hate wankers to say that I got this wrong, or I misled people, or I didn't know what I was talking about. But I was 100% correct, and now it's verified. So the Washington Post has leaked tonight a story that the human rights reports, which come out tomorrow. See, I talked about this. Our embassies around the world do human rights reports in every country. Our closest friends, good countries, that do nothing wrong. We do annual human rights reports. And it's been a pro forma thing for many years and often used as a political tool to go after opponents in socialist and communist countries or countries that irritate current administrations. Now, the Washington Post is acting as if this is a new process, that it's going to be used differently. Well, the Trump administration is doing no differently than previous administrations, looking the other way on certain countries and coming after certain countries. Now, I have pulled up the Washington Post report. They're the only major news outlets talking about this, so that's their breaking story tonight. So as soon as this stream is over, I'll be making a video, and that one should be 100,000 views tomorrow. But watch, it'll probably be 10 or 20,000. It'll be breaking news. Watch some other YouTube content creator in South Africa that doesn't know anything at all about the topic. You get 50, 100,000 views in their video. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so once again, every embassy does an annual human rights report. I know, because as an agency in an embassy mission, I was responsible for crafting information on the security forces and the military about human rights abuses or potential human rights abuses, unlawful detention, things like that. And so every year I participate in providing information to the State Department in these reports. They're collated, they're put together by the country team. Oftentimes they send teams out from DC to gather more information. Now, recently, a team came from Washington and was in South Africa. They did a report, they did an investigation, and then they went they went back to the States and they took the unusual step of going on Twitter and posting. DLR went on, took the unusual process of posting bad stuff about South Africa, saying things are not looking good. This was inferred incorrectly by many South Africans, Afrikaners in particular, as a damning report. It wasn't a report, it was a tweet with 5 subtweets. That's not a report. I said at the time that that's not a report, and then Ramaphosa responded to me saying the report is wrong. There is no report, and I'm correcting it. I said they may be providing content for the annual human rights report, and that appears to be what the case was. So now they're providing information for the annual human rights report. It's coming out on Tuesday, which is 45 minutes from now, so it'll come out later today. And it's going to be quite damning about South Africa. The Washington Post goes to great lengths to lie about South Africa and about the United States and about Trump, including publishing reports, a link to when Trump had the Oval Office thing, lying about what Trump presented. And I'll cover that too. So this is bad news for South Africa, because it doesn't matter whether you like Trump or dislike Trump or how you feel and where your dog is in this fight. This is bad news. South Africa looks like is going to be condemned as a major human rights violator. And we'll have to see what the language of the report says. But this will be argued, and that will become the story. They will dispute it and refute it if anything there's wrong. This is what frustrates me. I wish that I had been involved in this report and was working for the State Department, because then I could have made sure it was accurate. But I have no say in it. I don't work for the State Department, and I suspect that they're going to say some things that are going to cause problems. You see, the political left are the ones who've latched on this genocide thing, and if the report says anything about genocide in it, then that's what they're going to latch on to, and they're going to use it to refute the report. But these reports have been done every single year. They've always been contentious, and countries have always taken offense when they're considered to be human rights abusers, like Uganda. Anyway, so that is what's coming, folks. South Africa is in deep kimchi. This is going to cause some major ripples. This is the sort of thing that will lead to Ronnie Jackson's bill hitting the floor, passing the House, getting to the Senate, passing the Senate possibly, and going to the President for signature, which could lead to sanctions on South Africa. Now, those are all conditional, subjunctive, coulda, woulda, shoulda, maybe, possibly, but those are all those things. Could, should, maybe, would. It's subjunctive. We'll see what happens. Conditional case. Maddie, welcome to you. Chantel Fenter, CB, all ladies. There's Gideon, there's the man. Aretha, JJ Kruger, Chris Stender, Dougie Ray, Sloth Puppy, Dylan Combrick, Mandy van Rooyen. Okay, that's before we started. Then Inkwell Odyssey's here, Tins Kotze, AJ Quinn, Fernadette Conaway, Colin Whitfield, excuse me. Bloodcup is back. Emerencia Quinn. What's with the football, Bloodcup? David Van Rijn. Elmarie Mayer. What's up? Phoenix is here. Multipass. Leilu Dallas. Multipass. Henny Pretorius. Jean Spence. Sarita Flippa. I already said Retha Milan, didn't I? Maybe I didn't. If I did. Martin van der Merwe. Lorette. Denise Bellingen. Tough one for me to pronounce there. Sonneblom, Rebecca, DK. Maddie, sorry to hear about your hip. I know what you were going through. Discovery Medical Aid refused to allow my dad knee replacement surgery. My mom, hip replacement, both suffer a lot of pain. Well, that's just morally wrong, because they're cheap bastards. That degrades their quality of life. At least I can get the operation if I wanted. I could have it tomorrow if I wanted. Yeah, and thank you, Hannes Kruger. That's what I was looking for. I didn't know what the word was, the superlassen. Kind of fed up with their DA news. I got you, Vanessa, but you thought what people would have, at least tuned in for it. Colin Whitfield, okay. Whoops, jumped ahead on me there. Let me come back here. Okay, Marencia Quinn, did I say you already? That's where I was. Yeah, Bernadette didn't get enough. Jacques B, what's going on, man? Because of time, I just have to watch the Night Owl content way later, but I still like it, and it still came up as a view. Well, that's cool, Gideon. I'm glad it came up as a view, but a lot of my views obviously are appearing. Like, a hip replacement is not as invasive as it used to be. Knee replacement. Yeah, I know, right? They showed me, and I asked. So I said to them, I said, listen, okay, because I deal with things that I don't like with humor. So I went through the whole process, her explained it to me, and I saw, and I got up and I pointed stuff out, and she goes, yep, let's see, it's here. And we're looking, there's like almost no space in there, and I'm like, the labrum, there's like, it couldn't possibly be there, could it? Because it looks like it's been shredded. We can't see it on the MRI, on an X-ray, but the MRI would show it. But yeah, it looks like there's nothing there. It's just bone grinding. And she said, yeah. Anyway, but so towards the end, I said, listen, okay, so if I agree, if I get this operation, this is the important part here now. When I had an emergency gallbladder surgery, the only time I've ever been to the hospital, I stayed overnight back in 2010. The doctor told me, he said, look, there's a lot of gallstones in your gallbladder, and that one that's stuck in the bile duct, it's going to take some effort here. I'm going to do a laparoscopic procedure, which will leave you with no scars, but I might have to cut you and give you the traditional scar. And I said, hey, doc, there's no rush. There's no rush. It's Sunday. None of the malingers are hanging out at the hospital. You haven't got anything else to do. You look to me like you're well rested. Just take your time. Make sure I don't have any scars. Need to still be able to wear bikini shorts, okay? Need to have that tan line. I can't have any hideous looking scars there, okay? He laughed. So I said today, I said, listen, all right, so what are you talking about here? I mean, am I going to be disfigured? Am I look horrible? And I said, what kind of scarring are we going to have here? And she goes, oh, no, it's just a scar either in the front or on the side, and it's going to be about 6 inches. And I'm thinking, put it on the side, man. Put it on the side. She laughed. Oh, gosh. Thank you, Lorette. Sherry Linda Clarkson says, thanks for honest reporting. Truth always wins. Well, it doesn't. I wish it did. It does eventually. That's the thing. Truth eventually wins. We know the COVID was a political scam. I mean, not that it wasn't a real disease, but all the stuff tied to it was a political scam. Those of us who pointed that out and questioned it throughout were demonized and attacked. Here's the irony. Now we have people that didn't get the jab. Remember the jab? I talked about, epidemiology and vaccines and how it typically takes 8 or 7 to 20 years before the U.S. government approves vaccines. Look how long it's taken for us to get an immunization against malaria that has partial efficacy. And so we finally took it. That took like 25, 30 years. I said that, and I said that Trump took all the safety measures off all the safety rails and gave the companies immunity, not qualified immunity, but gave them immunity. So they couldn't be sued if they hurt someone, and they developed this in just 7 months. I said, whoa. I'm not telling you to or not to, but I'm telling you that be an informed person. So those of us who didn't get the experimental, those of us didn't get it, were demonized. And I refused to discuss my status because nobody's business during the whole scam, political scam. It was nobody's business. I refused to tell anybody. But I never got it. And also never got COVID. Never had it. Never had it. Never got the jab. Traveled all over the world. Never got it. No, never had it. Got the flu once, but not that. Got tested. It was the flu. Tested 3 times. It was the flu. It wasn't that stuff. Anyway, so now these people who got it are coming back. Why didn't you warn us? You people that didn't get it, you didn't tell us. Are you serious? You have the audacity to say that we didn't warn you after you demonize us and treat us like social pariahs. Those of us who actually use real science, not junk science for political purposes. We actually stuck to the scientific method. Those of us who actually did it. You call those of us who are conservative, oh, they believe in shit. All they believe is in God. They don't believe in real science. We believe in real science. It's not the science. That's what the science. Remember that? Yeah, they always said all the time, the science. No. The scientific method proves that science is never settled. Remember that? The science is settled. Really? Then Pluto is a planet. Explain that one to me, geniuses. Pluto is a planet, not a Kuiper Belt object, not a dwarf planet. It's a freaking planet, buddy. Look, I'm going to tell you, it's a freaking planet. Pluto is not a Kuiper Belt object if the science is settled. I mean, come on. How can you say the science is settled? I mean, honestly, look, this little kid got it right. I mean, this little kid gets it right. I'm telling you, this is the bottom line. It's a planet, not a Kuiper Belt object.
A fucking goat outside.
It's just a goat.
No, it's a fucking goat.
No, it's a fucking planet, man. It is. I mean, if the science is settled. So when it comes to that stuff, that's not how science works. You have a hypothesis. You seek to prove or disprove the hypothesis. You do testing to prove or disprove it. You write a paper. The scientific community reviews it. People try to repeat your results in peer review. If they can, then people tend to lend credence to your theory. If they can't, they dismiss your theory. Remember cold fusion back in 1990? We got cold fusion, but they couldn't repeat the process because something went wrong, something wasn't right. So those people are actually have the audacity to come out and go, well, why did you tell us? You're the science deniers. You're the science deniers. Carbon dioxide is killing the planet. Really? I'm sorry. If you remember the period when the dinosaurs roamed the planet and there was a lot more vegetation on the planet because the carbon dioxide level was much higher than it currently is. Yeah, the more carbon dioxide is, the more plants that grow. When the more plants that grow, the more canopy you have. The more canopy you have, the more cooling you have of the earth underneath it. The more cooling you have underneath it, the more damp it is, the more rainfall you get that comes down on it. Look, I can buy into the science of the ozone layer being destroyed. Ozone O3 is an odd substance, easily broken apart by cosmic rays and by chlorofluorocarbons. Yes, that's scientific. The Montreal Protocol worked. We backed off of CFCs and it began to repair. But the natural factors that affect it, like solar radiation, it breaks it apart, continue to have an impact. Despite that, the hole has closed. That's real science. Not, if you wear a mask, it doesn't work. If you don't wear a mask, you're killing Granny. That's not science. That's Fauciism. Anyway. Osteoes goal will. What is osteo? Cartilage can't regrow, man. Osteoes. I have no idea what that is. Osteoes. Colonel, and never wrong is facts that keeps changing. Well, look, facts do change, folks, and that's what I said. And that's what I said with the report. I said if more information comes to light, then I will do it. But there wasn't a report at the time. Hey, Veroshka, what's going on? I missed you there. Holden Caulfield's here. Natasha Posthumus is back. Crypto Noob is here. Oh, we got 200 early today. Wow, only 11:30, 5:30 in the morning. Saw that we got over 200 tonight. Must be some Americans. A mate of mine, Dylan says it's medication. I got a jab and was dead 6 days later. 6 months later at 44. Wow. Hey, Francis Rose. Well, I never got the jab. Never got it. And never got the Rona. Never got the Rona. I have picked up a couple nasty little hacking coughs from South Africa, though. Steph Botha says, got human trafficked for labor, won the case in labor court, waiting on immigration to process paperwork for myself. My wife, 2 children, still stuck out there. I have no idea what your case is talking about there, Steph. You got human trafficked into America? What labor court did you win in? And whose immigration are you waiting on? U.S. immigration? And what paperwork? Asylum? I really can't answer that question. You've just given me 4 more questions to ask. You're going to have to answer each one of those questions. The bunny got the jab and almost killed me. Never got the jab. Okay. Worked forced us to get the jab after that. COVID twice, my friend. Yeah, that's the thing. You get the jab, you won't get it. People got it. Lots of people got it. Yep. I'm going to print this out before I lose it. Hopefully the printer's working tonight. It's working good. Okay, good. Yep. Well, now all the reports are coming out, even from the Washington Post, about the dangers and all the challenges and all the stuff that came with it. I'm not going to go into that because we're accused of fake medicine reporting here. 3 zaps for traveling. Hope you get your hip sorted out soon. It doesn't look like I'm going to get it sorted out, Baron. We were forced to get it for travels, but we still got it, and still is nothing more than a cold. All right. Well, some people, in the case, I know people that lost their sense of smell and taste, and some of them never got it back. Had to get the jab to fly out of PA. Refused the rest after that. People that got all 3 and no longer with us. Yeah. Yeah. No, I got you. I think MRN is what you're looking for. Is the phrase there. Holden cough. MRN. Yeah. Well, a lot of South Africans never got it. They had paperwork that said they had it. I know that somebody tried to arrange that for me. I didn't ask for it. Someone who's a friend said, "Here, I got it all sorted up. I got a doctor. Will give you the certificate that you got the jab." No, I'm not doing that. Your cousin contracted the woke mind virus and craves it now. Yeah, no, it's the woke mind virus is real. Okay, let's get to, this isn't a news broadcast, but this is huge news. So let me cover this one here. All right, let me turn that off. All right, so Pluto's a planet, by the way. It's not a Kuiper Belt object. Not a Kuiper Belt object. Sorry, that's my science. United States escalates human rights criticism of South Africa and Brazil. Leaked draft reports reviewed by the Post lean into President Trump's contested claims about perceived political foes, fueling disputes at the State Department. The Trump administration is significantly escalating U.S. government criticism of perceived foes in South Africa and Brazil as the State Department's political leadership reimagines America's role in documenting human rights abuse around the world, according to leaked draft documents reviewed by the Washington Post. Once again, somebody is violating the law. These things are to be published tomorrow, and why does the Washington Post have access to them tonight? That's not journalism. That's a criminal offense. Department's annual human rights reports, which are scheduled to be transmitted to Congress on Tuesday, according to memos seen by the Post, are expected to target South African governments for its alleged mistreatment of white Afrikaner farmers. Okay, white is not capitalized. God bless it. Just like black, this is not a capital word. White is not an ethnic group. It is an adjective describing Afrikaner. Just like black is not a noun. It is an adjective. Gosh, bless it. These people need to go to school and learn how to write. And the Brazilian government for its alleged persecution of former President Jair Bolsonaro. Alleged persecution? Oh my goodness. Human rights advocates, foreign leaders, and other critics of the Trump administration say its claims about both governments are exaggerated. They're not. Within the State Department is considerable unease, too, over how the writing of these and other countries' specific human rights reports were shaped compared with past years, with some saying the process was unduly politicized. Let me tell you something. I've been involved in these reports for 2 decades. They're always unduly politicized. This is bullshit trying to say that the Trump administration is doing something anything different than Biden, Obama, Bush, Clinton. It's the same thing always. Well, this isn't South Africa, man. This is the Washington Post. State Department's declined to comment directly on the draft documents. They shouldn't, because it's a crime to have to disclose them. Governments around the world continue to use censorship, arbitrary and unlawful surveillance, and restrictive laws against disfavored foes, often on political and religious grounds. We are committed to having frank conversation with our allies, partners, and also the adversaries to promote freedom of expression around the world. Well, freedom of expression is disappearing in South Africa. There are concerted efforts to silence voices in South Africa in the media and social media, to put a tax on social media use. Yeah, this is a clear effort. This is a clear effort to silence voices in South Africa. Totally agree on Pluto being a planet, but I also believe the Earth is round. No, Andre, the Earth is flat. Who told you it was round? Are you believing that story? Yes, the Earth is round. It's actually more spherical, more not quite round. Looks round from space. Paramount buys UFC rights. Yeah, I saw that. Boy, Pablo still thinks Dreekus is going to get beat. Why do you not like Dreekus? What's up with that? So what is your deal, Pablo Charlie? You came out of the closet the other day as colored. You're a colored South African, or are you mixed race? You don't have to answer the question. I'm just curious because I'm trying to figure out where you're coming from with this stuff. Hey, Sync Master, what's going on? 16 nations. What, you mean in the chat? Elar Duskoy, welcome to you. Philip Holtz, they can write. They are intentionally misusing language. I know. Yes, you're right, Xavier. Too many people leave home without their signs. Here's your sign. So you're colored South African. All right, Pablo. Cool beans. That's what I presumed after you said that. So cool. Love the colored community. Well, most of them, not all. Official noted that the forthcoming human rights report had been restructured to remove redundancies and increase readability. Yeah, the report was redundant. There are sections you just repeated other sections. They're the same template every year. And they give you the report, and then you're supposed to make adjustments and change things. Yes, sir. Human traffic to the USA. USA Labor Court decision in my favor, waiting on T visas. Okay, I'm confused. T visas. Well, that would imply that it's for more than one person. You asked me, what do you do about your family? Francis said I give her a heart attack. The Earth is flat. Gosh, guys, we're just making a little bit light there. Mitchell's Plains. You had the best New Year's ever? Well, I almost got run into the taxi strike in Mitchell's Plains. I went right by the high school there. As kids were getting out of school, and 2 blocks away, they were shooting at Coca-Cola trucks. Yep. Current and former State Department officials familiar with this year's human rights reports describe a divisive process with internal disputes over certain countries, including South Africa, resulting in a months-long publication delay as drafts began during the Biden administration underwent substantial revision. Ursula Zaya, a top official for human rights in the State Department during the Biden administration, now leads Human Rights First nonprofit, said Secretary of State Mark Rubio was seeking to weaponize and distort human rights policy in a way that rewards rights-abusing allies while targeting political opponents and critics. A report for South Africa focused on what the Trump administration says is land expropriation of Afrikaners and further abuse against racial minorities in the country. The draft documents show Trump has claimed the country's white minority faced a genocide. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. When asked the question specifically and directly in the White House, Trump said he didn't believe there was a genocide. Funny how they all just ignore that. Trump was though human rights groups and even some African groups have resoundingly dismissed that as untrue. Trump lectured South African President Cyril Ramaphosa during a visit to the White House. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Isn't it funny how Ramaphosa lectured President Trump? It will take the president listening to South Africans. No. Trump didn't lecture. He showed a video. And he listened to Ramaphosa fumble and mumble through it. It's funny. It's funny how Trump lectured. Trump didn't lecture. You want to be lectured? I'll give you a lecture. My goodness. And at least one of the images Trump showed during the tense meeting was later found to not show South Africa at all. Now, see, this is fake news. And who is the author responsible for this? Oh, Adam Taylor, Hannah Nathanson, and Meg Kelly. Fake news. So there's the report. And here's what they say down here. At least one report was later found to not show South Africa at all. And here they refer to the Japan Times. Trump's image of dead white farmers did not come from footage of South Africa. That's not what Trump said. He leafed through a bunch of reports that covered murders in South Africa. That report talked about Africa and had a photograph of the Congo. And so President Trump showed a screenshot of video taken in Democratic Republic of Congo as part of the falsely presented. No, he didn't. He didn't show a screenshot. That's a lie. He showed that report. That's not a screenshot. That's the report. The video published by Reuters on February 3rd, subsequently verified by the news agency's fact-check team, showed humanitarian workers lifting body bags. Showed Goma. But the bottom line here, folks, is that the report was about Africa, and South Africa was talked about in there. Yep. So that's just fake news there. Joe Biden almost had to take on Corn Pot with a chain. Did everybody disappear? The chat just died off. Thanks for your video on Paris, Chihuahua. They attacked BE, but I could not find anything on employment equity. Paris, Chihuahua. What are you talking about? Which video is that, Xavier? They're going out of their way to try and justify what the ANC is doing. Yes, the New York, the Washington Post. Hey, Dylan. Sovereign Wealth Fund. There is no sovereign wealth fund. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Pablo? We can't have a sovereign wealth fund. We have $38 trillion of federal debt. We have another $6 trillion of state debt, $4 trillion in municipal debt and county debt. Then we have a couple $100 trillion in mortgage, or $100 trillion in mortgage debt. Then we have $150 trillion or $100 trillion in unfunded pension liabilities. We owe like $400 trillion if you put it all together, $400 trillion. Who can have a sovereign wealth fund until that debt's paid off? That's ludicrous. Why in the world would you create a sovereign wealth fund when you're getting no return on it, when the interest rates are so low, when you could pay off the debt at higher interest rates? It makes no sense. Why are you waiting for a sovereign wealth fund, Pablo? Are you drinking something? I'm waiting for the one in South African house. Remember Cyril Ramaphosa? Oh, we'll create a sovereign wealth fund. Where's the sovereign wealth fund for South Africa? There is no wealth to put into it. Oh, gotcha. I didn't know that was, okay. Oh, gotcha. Oh, she was barking. I gotcha. Robert Franklin Moore, hello to you. The woke media is looking for attention. I see News 24 is advertising their free subscription heavily. Sorry for my absence the last few days. Got news fatigue. Took a break. Well, Heidi, we had a lot of fun the past few days. We made some cool songs. We got off the news. We joked around a bit, and people left the show because, some people just wanted the news. I'm like, we need to be lighthearted sometimes, Good morning, Tom. Listening intently while drinking a massive mug of coffee, Maddie. Okay, went straight to the Rama Rich couch. Ooh, that reminds me. I wanted to read something to you guys, okay? This president of Mexico is probably terrified of her mind. Oh, she is. She's so confused, too. Yeah, Claudia Sheinbaum. It's such a Mexican name, isn't it? When somebody named, with some unusual African or Middle Eastern name, they're American, and I like, Zoran Mamdani, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's a typical New Yorker name. And people are like, you're a racist. Well, now I'm saying Claudia Sheinbaum. That's a very German name, but she's Jewish. As the head of Mexico, I'm saying that sounds very Mexican. That's not racist, is it? You say truly is the greatest people in nation on earth. I'm very grateful for all the help and love I receive. Fantastic, beautiful people and some blue hair trolls. There are definitely some blue hair trolls, Steph. I have to deal with them. Steph, I'm very confused. Steph, if you would not mind reaching out to me privately, because I don't want to go into what happened to you. You're saying labor traffic, but if you want to tell me your story privately, you're welcome to. If one of the mods could put the email up there. Yeah, she does look very Mexican. That's because it's 1 or 2 generations. It's gone. I mean, look at the Afrikaners in Argentina. Pablo, Francisco, Ramirez. Ramirez Dutoy is not an Afrikaner. Frank Erasmus, welcome to you. I'm going to go grab my Mosquito book. Don't run off. Don't go anywhere. Let me get up my hip. See if I can do it. There we go. I got up. Okay. All right, I'm back. Fentanyl. Where's fentanyl? In South Africa, you got fentanyl? I didn't know that. That's news to me. Okay. I'm glad you guys stayed. Did anybody leave? Nobody left. All right. Okay, so you guys know I'm reading from this Mosquito book here. The Mosquito. Human History of Our Deadliest Predator. Okay. And I got to a part about the American Revolution today. And so mosquitoes caused the colonization of Australia. Did you know that? Did you know that? Here we go. Sinaloa cartel operates as I didn't know that, Holden. That's news to me. Don't pronounce the G. Bellion. Okay, why would you use it then? Why would you put the G in there, Denise? That seems very, very French and uneconomical. Ça, c'est le problème avec le langue française, parce qu'il y a plutôt des lettres qui on ne pas prononcer. On ne pas utilise les lettres. C'est vraiment bizarre. Pourquoi on doit écrire les lettres, mais ne pas prononcer? It is French, see? It doesn't make any sense. Okay. All right, so on August 1st, 1781, Cornwallis encamped his army along the rice fields and tidewater estuaries between the James and York rivers at an insignificant hamlet called Yorktown. Home to no more than 2,000 people, Yorktown was only 15 miles from Jamestown, as the mosquito flies. The creation of America, started by settler mosquitoes at Jamestown, will be completed by their more lethal country-born heirs at Yorktown. As the British, Americans, and French mustered their troops, armies of salivating mercenary mosquitoes collected in the gathering swarm in the verdant marshes surrounding Yorktown. It was both prime mosquito country and the right time of year for Washington's Anopheles ally to attack. And attack she did, unleashing a storm of malaria upon her British guest and changing the course of history. General Clinton was stunned when the French fleet arrived at Yorktown in early September and not New York as he expected. Learning of this French decision, Washington, in consultation with Rochambeau, was forced to give up all idea of attacking New York and hurried his combined Franco-American force south to Yorktown. Washington's column arrived in late September, joining Lafayette's blocking force of over 17,000 men positioned on the high ground surrounding Yorktown. Cornwallis now had the worst of both worlds, comments historian McNeil. His army was entrenched on the coast at maximum risk to malaria, yet the Royal Navy could not get through to relieve him. Needing a British surrender before the end of the mosquito season and the onset of winter, on September 28th, Generals Washington, Rochambeau, Lafayette, and the Anopheles, that's the female mosquito, orchestrated a skilled and hasty siege by land and sea and by air. The mosquito was by air. Realizing his inferior position with his men cowering before malaria, a desperate Cornwallis again tried his hand at biological warfare. He fruitlessly released smallpox-infected slaves into the Franco-American lines. Although Edward Jenner would not perfect smallpox vaccination until 1796, risky immunization techniques have been practiced since the 1720s. Yeah, I know about those. They're very dangerous. Pax Americana is a good book written by a woman named Fenn about smallpox in America, and I knew about that from a long time ago. Beginning in 1777, Washington insisted that his soldiers receive the perilous inoculation. Some certainly died from the inoculation, but the rest of his army acquired herd immunity against smallpox. Cornwallis' second attempt to culture a premeditated smallpox epidemic brought British attempts at biological warfare to a perfect 0-3. 3 times during the American Revolution, they tried to use biological warfare, and 3 times it failed. A desperate Cornwallis pleaded to Clinton for reinforcements, relief, and quinine. The place is no state of defense. If relief does not come soon, you must prepare to hear the worst. Medicines are wanted. While the Franco-American force tightens its siege, the Mosquito continued its unrelenting attack on the trapped British at Yorktown. David Petrello's clinching remarks on Clinton's ill-fated southern strategy, sealed by the Mosquito, fenced and malaria-fetid position of Cornwallis at Yorktown, determined that the English had been chased from the south, not by the guns of the Patriots, by the proboscis, that's the needle, the proboscis of the Anopheles mosquito. At the outset of the siege of Yorktown on September 28th, Cornwallis commanded 8,700 men. By the time of his official surrender on October 19th, less than a month later, he had just 3,200 men, 37% fit for duty. Given that British casualties from combat were no more than 200 killed and 400 wounded, over half his total force was too sick to fight. The British army at Yorktown had been eaten alive by malarious mosquitoes. Reporting to Clinton the day after his surrender, Cornwallis credited his defeat and final capitulation not to the enemy but to malaria. I have the mortification to inform Your Excellency that I have been forced to give up the post, the troops being much weakened by sickness. Our numbers have been diminished by the enemy's fire, but particularly by sickness. Our force diminished daily by sickness to a little more than 3,200 rank and file fit for duty. The commander of the Hessian mercenaries holed up in Yorktown with Cornwallis reported 2 days before the surrender that the British were nearly all plagued with fever. The army melted away, among whom not 1,000 men could be called healthy. The Mosquito had chased the British army from the southern battlefields of Revolution and won the long and bloody struggle for American liberty. J.R. McNeill emphasizes that Yorktown and its mosquitoes ended British hopes and decided the American war. He closes his chapter, Revolutionary Mosquitoes, saluting the tiny female General Anopheles, who stands tall among the founding mothers of the United States, the Mosquito. And this is where it gets interesting. Her American victory not only redirected the flight path of history and the heart of Western civilization away from Britain towards the United States, it also generated immediate shockwaves with global reverberations. The British outpost of Australia, for example, was a byproduct of both Yorktown and the Mosquito. In the decades preceding the Revolution, the American colonies received an annual import of 2,000 British convicts. In total, approximately 60,000 British convicts were dumped in the colonies. With American independence, British Parliament was forced to consider an alternative station to unload the swelling number of domestic felons. The fledgling colony of the Gambia was originally considered, but it was deemed that exile in Africa amounted to nothing more than a death sentence. Within 1 year of arrival, 80% of the British diaspora perished from the mosquito-borne disease in the Gambia. This defeated the dual purpose of a penal colony to punish and rid the mother country of criminals while using these banished British subjects as the vanguard of colonization. If convicts could not survive, how could these colonies eventually thrive? The first 1,336 British convicts arrived at the substitute destination of Botany Bay, Sydney, in January 1788, and British Australia was born. Like its Commonwealth cousin of Australia, British Canada was also conceived by the Mosquito-manipulated outcome of the American Revolution. While Canada remained a British colony after the Revolution, it was the influx of post-revolutionary American loyalists that swung the demographic profile and prevailing culture from French to British. By 1800, over 90,000 loyalists landed in Canada, fleeing the United States to uphold personal political loyalties, escape persecution, or as asylum seekers from yellow fever epidemics that consumed the coastal states between 1793 and 1805. 25 years after the Mosquito helped secure American autonomy, British Canadians outnumber French Canadians by a ratio of 10 to 1. That's how it became Anglophone. It had been French all along to that point. Retaining Canada, however, was the only solace for the British at the signing of the Treaty of Paris in 1783, which officially ended what had become not just America's War of Independence, but also global conflict. British Florida was handed over to Spain, and France acquired Senegal and Tobago. All British lands east of the Mississippi River between Florida and the Great Lakes, St. Lawrence River, were surrendered, marking the national boundaries of the new and internationally recognized country of the United States of America. With the proclamation now null and void, America more than doubled its size. The birth of the United States came at the expense of the mosquito-bitten British Americans' westward expansion. Wow. Wow. Does anybody even listen to that? Or did I just waste my time? That's fascinating stuff there. So the Mosquito is responsible for American independence, colonization of Australia, and the Anglicization of Canada. It's all true. It's all true. When I hear French, I think of World War II stories of French partisans. My grandfather told the French were so weak. Taylor Swift, apparently side effect guy, Taylor Swift. I don't speak French, it's just a surname. Oh, is Adia having another presser today, Devald? I didn't know that. Chief Wetu, we're not going to do that poll every day. We did it last night. It's running about 10, 12% every day, no matter how many people are here. It's 10 or 12%. And I don't want to give people a false impression because we have the similar audience every night. Same people answering the question every night. So we'll do that occasionally. Doing it every show is not really helpful. Moses and Muskets. Yep. Malaria Institute located in Tasneem. They did excellent research and cure for malaria. Well, thank you, Anne-Marie Douglas. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, that's a great book. But it's not just malaria, of course. It's dengue fever and yellow fever, all transmitted by mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are the deadly. In fact, there was one in the house earlier tonight. Killed it. I hadn't seen a mosquito in months. One little bastards got in the house. Don't know how. It's cold in here. Keep it down around 22 degrees. That should chase them away. How do you find a little emoji of a mosquito, man? Well done. Yeah, no, it's bad mojo, man. Mosquitoes. They've wiped out more humans than any war. They've conquered empires. Disease. Yep. That's why the U.S. military is so hot on medicine. That's what's pissing me off so much about my injury. Now that I have to get a hip replacement, probably because they ignored this injury for years. Anyway, yep. Colin says, thank you for caring. You're welcome. I do care. Skeeter season. There we go. We can play Skeeter season. There we go. We're talking about mosquitoes. That's an apropos thing to play right now. Let's go see if I can find that. Skeeter season. Let's go a little further back. I've got 8 pages of songs created now. Got quite a few. It gets on this one here. No. There it is. There it is. Skeeter season. Oh, they're both pretty good. So which one do we go with? Let's go with this one. Oh, here we go again. Oh, is it playing?
Buzzing in the moonlight glow, tiny vampires in a row. They dive, they sting, they leave a show, a wilted map where love won't grow. I slap the air, they laugh and flee, a battle lost eternally. Mosquito season, can't escape. The tiny thieves in a
Skeeter Season on Radio Afterlife. Coming to you from the other side. Skeeter Season. Ironically inspired by winter in South Africa. Skeeter Season. All right, that was pretty cool. I like that one. So, how are we doing? Let me get back here. Okay. All right, so yeah, back where we were there. I also find interesting that after inoculation, Social Security recipients decreased. I don't know the numbers there. Gin and tonic anyway. I finally went to Apple Music and downloaded some songs. Was rushed, so I will still do more. Well, thanks, Sue Marie. It's cool. Good morning, Paul Stapleberg. We already have mossies, and it's still winter. Yeah, exactly. Sonneblom mosquitoes are the inventing reason for swearing words. Probably. South Africa's biggest mosquitoes are in Parliament. Those are vampires, not mosquitoes. Which anti-inflammatory did they prescribe for you? I don't know which one it was, Hannes. I didn't pick it up because the pharmacist closed. They told me which one. It was probably one of those. It's a prescription anti-inflammatory, and you take it once a day. So, but you can't take any other anti-inflammatories because it's pretty strong. But apparently it doesn't harm the heart, the liver, the kidneys. So, yep. The video for the sequel called Another Day has come and gone. Okay, I hope you find some time to watch it. I'll send you the one. Okay. Thank you. So I don't know. Hannes, are you like in the medical field there, Hannes? Hannes isn't the chiropractor that saw me, is he? By the way, the chiropractor was right. And so was the physical therapist. They both are right. Yep. Come the Breed River. It sounds like a breeding ground for mosquitoes. Yeah, they don't normally bother me much. The only time I've really been bothered badly by mosquitoes was in frickin' Washington State. Is Dogzilla here tonight? I don't see Dogzilla. By the way, I had 255 people watching the stream, and I played music, and we dropped to 222. See? I play the music, the audience disappears. Military pharmacist. Ah! Ha! Thank you, Hannes. Yeah, I'm sure it's one of those, Hannes. Yeah, I'm sure it's one of those. But the clinic was gone. So here's the thing. I think I covered this before. So the military clinic is authorized 8 physicians. They have 3. So I had to wait 7 weeks just to see my GP, who got me the x-ray, and I had to get digitally sent to Walter Reed for the x-ray technician to review it. And then I had to wait from July 17th till August 8th to get the call and tell me. And he said, well, he didn't think it was bad enough for the hip replacement. And then referred me to go get the shot that you're talking about. I went for the shot, and they're like, no, you can't get that. You have to have an appointment for all that. That's, I'm like, I thought it was outpatient stuff. Anyway, so then I went up seeing a doctor, and they're like, oh, yeah, you're going to do a hip replacement here, which is what those people are inclined to do. She's like, yeah, we got 30 doctors here. We do them every day. I'm like, well, that's nice for you, but that's my bone. That's my body, and it's sacred. It's a temple. But they were very professional and lovely. But I'm gonna get another opinion on that. Pretty hippie, had to do it, says Steph. Okay. Steph, did you get the email? Did anybody send the email for Steph? Just send me a note. Yes, Maz, that's a very long way. It's ridiculous. So here's the whole story. So I've been in pain like this where I could barely walk since March, since just before I went to South Africa. By the time I went to South Africa, I was crippled, limping along until I had some treatments, which helped. I firmly believe pharmacists knows more about medicine than doctors. I think you're right about that, Phoenix. A lot of them do, because they know the impact and the harm and the efficacy of drugs better than some of these doctors. So, Lard Scoy's off to work. Okay. There you go, CB. There you go. So, if you want to send me something there, Steph, there is the email address. Okay. Just means broad review. Yeah, I know that, Colin, but it's written in English. It looks like breeding. Why would I go for a major? Yeah, the terminology you mean emergency room. Is it Monday night or Tuesday night in Pennsylvania? It's Monday night. We're behind you, Lolita. If you're in South Africa, we are 6 hours behind South Africa at the moment. So it's midnight now. That's 2 minutes behind. It's now the 12th of August. Yep. Coalition Diaries, a spinoff Vampire Diaries. That's good, Tian, back here. Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen because I'll be on the road and I won't be able to broadcast as often. I'll be doing a lot of shorts in the UK during my time there. I won't be doing my regular streams because the internet won't always be good. I'll be moving from place to place, and so I don't know how often I'll be doing my regular streams. So it'll be a challenge for me to do. Missed I 17 years. Finally, a pharmacist told me to go test for Addison's. Oh, wow. You have Addison's. Interesting. You're welcome, Lydia. Lucky, 0 medical issues. Just corrected my vision with LASIK surgery. Need fascia massage to correct hip placement. No idea what that means. No, I saw the X-ray. There's definitely some damage there. Definitely some wear and tear. Yep. And she described things that I didn't tell them, the physician, that I've been experiencing, and like, well, okay, yep, she knows what she's talking about. Yep. Once got a prescription from a doc, went to pharmacy, and the pharmacist looked at the script, looked at me, and asked me if the doctor wants me dead. Well, I had that problem, Sona Balloon, not with want me dead, but when my nose was bleeding, I had a polyp in, was it the left nostril? I had a polyp in the left nostril, and my nose would just start pouring blood up profusely. It would happen periodically. And it was misdiagnosis as, a dry nose. So I went and waited on sick call while in the Army, stationed at Fort Meade. Waited. Finally got in to see the doctor on sick call. The doctor gave me, said, oh, yeah, we'll get you a salve you need to put in there, so keep moisture in there. So I had to go, and even though I was in uniform in the military, I get priority. Started to wait like 45 minutes at the pharmacy. Got up to the counter, handed them my ID card, and they're like, no, we don't carry this. We keep telling these doctors not to prescribe this. You need to go back and see the doctor and get another salve. I'm like, no, I've been here for 3 hours. I've got work to do. So I left, and my nose bled for a couple more years. And then I went again, and another doctor, and the same thing happened to me. Went, and it was another thing that they don't stock. I'm like, do these people even talk? The pharmacy? It's crazy. We're back to 246. Okay, well I have 239 on my side. Any news on Lana and her spider bites? No, I haven't seen her. Sandra Yonk, what's going on? Maybe sitting in the plane and not so comfortable position causes you have to get more effective. Oh yeah, that's definitely the case. And sitting in cars, sitting in this chair doesn't help either. That's why I'm always shifting around here. But there's damage and wear and tear in there, no doubt about it. It's not a case of getting older, Gordon. It's a case of trauma to that hip, which built up over time. Okay, Andre, take care. Hit the like button. But yeah, I'm getting older is not for sissies. I've said it before. They need to issue, governments always want to help people. They want to help the population. What they should do is make a manual, stuff that don't work anymore. That's not how I actually titled it. That would be the book. Crap that stops working. It stops working when you turn after 50. So when you turn 50, you should be handed it should come in the mail. Congratulations, you're 50 now. Read this book. This is stuff that's not going to work. And this is when it'll stop working. Your eyes, your genitalia, your nerves, your circulatory system, your joints, your metabolism. Crap that stops working after 50. That should be a book. I mean, it should be a book. That would be the most useful thing any government could do for anybody. Just make a book, shit that stops working. I've been saying that for years, man. Okay, first off, and this came to my attention this way. It wasn't until I was 55 this became an issue, okay? So 90% of adults over the age of 50 have presbyopia. For those of you under 50, let me just give you a little hint of what's coming. 95% of adults over the age of 50 have presbyopia. Presbyopia is a hardening of your lens in your eye. It's just a natural thing. You get older, your body doesn't refresh that thing, it gets harder, which makes it more difficult to change the focal length, all right? So that means a lot of people can't read things up close. I started noticing it around age 55, but mine was exacerbated because my retina in this eye tore twice. It just tore twice. No trauma, just tore on its own because the viscous fluid in there, loss of viscosity, started clumping together and it caught on the back on the retina and pulled it across because there's fluid in your eye. It's a self-contained immune system, your eye. Anyway, and then the eye eats up all the stuff, the little floaters, got most of them, but there's one that it can't eat. It's a regular oblong shape. It looks like a Portuguese man of war floating around in the ocean. And it comes in front of my optical focal point from time to time. When it did that, it messed up. So then my brain is trying to compensate. I've got a massive, mainframe computer up here going, what do we do? Just, okay, keep this one here, keep that one there, keep this one here, change it. And so what it leads to is reading glasses. And that's why now I wear reading glasses. Not all the time, but when that floater's there. But one thing's for sure, I don't have the vision up close that I've always had, which for me is difficult. I've always been superhuman, never had any problems, could outrun everybody, outlast everybody, had a longer constitution than most people, and could go for miles, could go for days, could see way off in the distance. Yeah, yeah, definitely It's getting sucky, man. If I sit around here and think about all the different things that start breaking. But that was the first thing. So I'm like, wow. Okay. So that kind of sucked. And over the past year, I've gone from wearing those occasionally to wearing them more frequently. So it's not bad, Angelique. It's just that your body, even if you take care of it, doesn't last. We're human. And that's so. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. But I've always been superhuman, Ranger Rick, I'm tougher than can be. Yeah, 50 Shades of Gray. That's the wrong 50 Shades of Gray. They can replace the lens with surgery. Current lots of advancements in that medical field. Yeah, but then you're stuck. And if it goes bad, you can't change it again, right? My mother currently in ICU with lungs not working. Our time was planned as a gift. Use it well. There you go, Mr. Echo. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's the point I'm trying to make. Well, 10 kg lighter now, and I can move around more around sciatica, not that big an issue anymore. Oh, there you go, Gideon. So lose some weight. That's the thing. I put on some weight because of the sedentary lifestyle, and I didn't adjust my caloric intake because didn't realize it, and I don't like it. So anyway, eyes, ears, everything, Heidi. You can correct your condition current with eyes. Somerset West Eye Doctor, about 48,000 Rand. Now, that's cheap. That's cheap, Philip. Eddie Engelman. The gray is your wisdom showing. Oh, yeah, well, I never had a problem with going gray. But I always, when I was a kid, said if I go gray, I want to go gray. And kind of like it is on the side here. You can see it from this angle. See how it's darker up here? And it's kind of gray here. That was always like on Spider-Man, his boss, Peter Parker's boss. Whoever that boss was. He had the dark hair up here, all across the top. But then he had the gray on the temples. I always thought gray on the temples is pretty cool looking. On this side, it's gray on the temples here. See it? There it is. But this side, it's gray all the way up, it seems. So I don't mind the gray. The thing for me is that it's there. This hair is soft. Some of you have touched my hair. You don't have to admit who you were, but some of you know because people always like your hair. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead, touch it. Ooh, yeah. It is nice. No product. I don't put product in there. Occasionally I do put some gel just to, keep it in place. But there's no product. It's just really nice. And I'm grateful for that. Jim Jonason. Who the heck is Jim Jonason? The eye doctor here is very good. Trust them more than most people. Okay. Rudolph used to be strong as an ox, now strong and pick up a bag of potatoes. No broken bones, no operation, nothing removed, no jabs, nothing. Still get my own teeth, but I had to get glasses last month and don't have blood pressure or any other stuff. So Tian, wearing the reading glasses now. No broken bones my entire life. Only had the one operation, emergency surgery with my gallbladder, and spent one night in the hospital my entire life. Yep, thank goodness. Knock on wood. And these are all mine. Those are all mine. Yep. Nicholas says, my mom couldn't keep her hands off your beard. Shh. No, she couldn't. This actually is soft too. Beard's pretty soft too. Now it's shorter like this. It's not as soft as it was. Feels a little rougher there. No, Conrad, you laugh. You weren't there in Bolito, man. I was worried about my flat tire, and she was. That was fun. I got to go back to Bolito. That was interesting. Spend some more time there. See a little bit more. Oh, come on, Hasigi. I watched House, Addison's disease, Hirschsprung's. I know all those things, man. I watch House. They introduced all these damn diseases on House, and so I had to look them up. Asperger's. I mean, all these diseases and medical conditions. They're all on there. Carnivore's a good lifestyle, says Jen's like, yeah, sure. And gout is not good. Eat all that meat. See what happens. Get that uric acid buildup. 57 is still at the same weight when I left the Army at 30. Well, that's impressive, Tom. I'm not. I've gained a lot of weight since this hip problem. But I'm not obese, but I used to be rail thin. What did Angelique say? Oh, you guys loved House. Yeah, I loved House too, Sumarie. It was great. Great actor. His earlier stuff I didn't care for so much. His collaborations with, what's his name? Doc Martin. I don't know what the ocular injections were. What was that? To put DNA in there? Been doing it for a year and lost 52 kg. Good Lord, Angelique. How big were you? You don't have to answer that question. Anyway, we haven't even gotten around to talking about the news. I'll save that for tomorrow. I'm lucky no broken bones, no operations. I'm getting kind of worn in this hoodie. You guys mind if I take my hoodie off? Hirschsprung's. Oh, yeah. Look up Hirschsprung's. Look it up. Yep. All kinds of diseases out there. Can you imagine being the doctor who discovers the disease and then Steph's going to bed? Steph, hopefully you wrote to me because you've left me curious now. Don't worry, I can protect your secrets if they're secrets. But yeah, the email was up there, so nice of you to pop on here. I can't answer your questions. I'd like to try to answer them, but I can't until you strip slow. That reminds me of what's the movie with True Lies. True Lies. I love that. When Schwarzenegger's trying to get his wife to strip. Man, she was hot back then. What's her name? Yeah, that's it. Do it slowly. Do some more. Yeah, take off your shirt. True Lies. What a great movie, man. What a great movie. That's still a classic to this day. An epidural. I'm not in extreme pain. But an epidural is not going to solve the problem. It's just going to take pain away. It was nanoparticles and enhance the optical rods. Okay, night vision. Wow, okay. Thought we were getting Google eyes. Dysautonomia. It took years to find out why I would feel dizzy and disconnected. That's crazy. No, it's not a tumor. That's from Kindergarten Cop. It's not a tumor. It's a tumor. It's a tumor. It's not a tumor. Boys have penises. Girls have vaginas. Still one of the best lines in a movie ever. That little boy gets up. Boys have penises, girls have vaginas. Oh gosh, I wet myself watching that. That is so funny. I got to do a clip of that and just save it. Can we find that real quick? Man, that kid is so funny, man. There it is. This kid is great, man. This is great. I love this.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Kid. Look at this kid. He's got to be like 35 now. Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. Look at the little girl, a serious look at her face. Look at her staring at him. No, he didn't lie. But the poor little thing didn't know about transgenderism, so he was wrong. There's just some lines you never forget from movies, right? It's the other one I'll never forget is from Mallrats. That was the first one of Kevin Smith's movies I watched was Mallrats. I was in Bosnia deployed and I was bored out of my mind. Somebody had the DVD and I stuck it and watched it. And he's like, it isn't 1 year passes without some little bastard getting caught in an escalator incident. That kid's on the escalator again. Then later in the movie, the cops are blowing the whistles. What's going on? What's going on, man? Some kid got caught in an escalator. That damn kid's on the escalator. Oh my goodness. DARPA is still conducting subterranean trails. I can neither confirm nor deny that, Holden. Where do you get this stuff from? Spent most of working life in operating theater. Beginning last year, I myself was a patient, was on the table. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, thing announced. Yeah, I bet they shot it once, you know? That was brilliant. Yeah. It's good stuff. Boys, penis, girls have a vagina. And then the other one I love, of course, and because when Multipass comes on here, we got The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis, another great Bruce Willis movie. There's some great lines from Bruce Willis movies. They're not Bruce Willis saying them. And she's there and she says, Leilu, they're trying to get the passage to get to Flossed in Paradise. And she says, Leilu Dallas Multipass. Leilu Dallas Multipass. She kept holding up the ID card. It's funny. Is the library and acceptable in the library? I can't answer that question. Another one that I love from Bruce Willis movie is when he did the, I think it was Lethal Weapon 3, when they're in New York. And he stops a kid with a New York accent and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing? You want to go juvie over a Snickers bar or something like that?" And the kid goes, "Hey, cops are into some shit, man. It's like Christmas." And then the light goes on for Bruce Willis. Oh, they're distracting all the cops, chasing him away. They're going to the school to put this bomb out, and there's no bomb in a school. So they searched all of like 80 or 100 some schools in New York, and to find a bomb, they found a fake bomb which had syrup in it, and that distracted them. Yep, pretty cool. All the cops are into some shit, man. Yep. Mila Jovovich. Yes, Mila Jovovich. Yep, Ukrainian-born American citizen. Yep, long time ago. Mila Jovovich. I love her in those other movies. The first one she did. What's the ones where she goes down into the tunnel? Raccoon City. What's that one? Those are great movies. And she did so many of them. It's based off of a video game. Raccoon City. Resident Evil. That's it. Resident Evil. Raccoon City. The Incident. Resident Evil. I love that. The first Resident Evil movie, when you go through and they go in that room and the building attacks them, the defense, and they have these like lasers that come and they work down and then it slices them apart. Oh, that was wild. Yeah, he was an 80s and 90s icon. Resident Evil at Raccoon City. Man, great stuff. That came from a video game on computers, PC game. Yep. That was a good stuff, man. Nia says, "Time to sleep in Alabama." Nia, I'm going to find out one day why you're in Alabama. I'm curious about that. Love Die Hard. Yeah, Die Hard was great. It's a shame that Bruce Willis has got dementia or whatever he's got going on. It's really sad. Such a stud. Also liked him in Moonlighting. That was good, too. With Maddie. That's back when Sybil Shepherd was still smoking hot. Man, she was so gorgeous in the frickin' 1960s. You ever see pictures of Sybil Shepherd in the 60s? My goodness, what a gorgeous woman. A blonde woman. A white woman. We can't talk about that. That can't be good. That's racist. Sybil Shepherd. See if I can't find old images of her. She's 75 now. She's from Memphis, Tennessee. Still a good-looking woman, man. Images. I want to find... Oh, yeah, here we go. This is a good picture here of her. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Okay, let's see if these work out. Okay, probably going to be these tiny little pictures again. No, here we go. There we go. Come on. All right, so... Here she is, Sybil Shepherd. Beautiful woman. Model of the year, 1968. Wow. There she is. Look at that. Moonlighting. What a great show. What a great show. Very pretty. Yep. Now, she's not Sydney Sweeney pretty. No, I'm just kidding. She's actually prettier than Sydney Sweeney. The Fifth Element with Mila. Yeah, Mila Jovovich in The Fifth Element was great. Yep. The book should also say, unfortunately, certain cockprodders does not go away. You know, the joke with the Muzzies. What do we call them in Africa? We don't call them. They just come themselves. Lots of musicians also suffer from vaccine injury, like Eric Clapton. I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Which movie is that from? Farrah Fawcett was brilliant too. She died from cancer. Sad. Yes, Sydney's great genes. Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Barbara Eden's still floating around there too, folks. She's got to be 90 something now. Barbara Eden. Let me take a look at that. Barbara Eden, another beautiful woman. Barbara Eden, American actress and singer. Didn't know she sang. She is 93. Born in Tucson, Arizona, man. Wow. Wow. She said she was very upset about Tony and Jeannie's wedding and I Dream of Jeannie final season. Oh, I didn't know that. Wow, she just told us like a week ago. Let's find some old images of her. Oh, yeah. Here you go. In her 70s, she's still a smoking hot lady, man. Here she's with Bob Hope. Let's see if we can get some of these come up here. Okay, 1987. She was born in 1931, so 87 would be 31, 41, 51, 61, 71, 81. So she's almost 60 in this photograph I'm going to show you in a minute. So Barbara Eden, born Barbara Jean Moorhead, 1931. Yep. Married Michael Ansara. I remember that. He was an actor, an Arab actor. Charles Faget and John Eichholz, 1991. She's been married to him since 1991. Wow. Her first marriage was in 1958. She got married in 1958 the first time. Wow. That's over half a century ago. So, here's Barbara Eden, folks. Oof. But that's the picture right there. There you go. That's the one. I Dream of Jeannie. And there she is. She's almost 60 there. With Bob Hope in 1987. Wow. Barbara Eden. So this is what she had to say just days ago in her 90s. I Dream of Jeannie star Barbara Eden reveals she was very upset about this major storyline with Larry Hagman. She dreamed of a different ending for Jeannie. After starring as the 2,000-year-old spirit who was freed from her bottle by NASA astronaut Tony Nelson on I Dream of Jeannie, the actress, 93 years old, recently revealed one major qualm. Eden was not on board with the season 5 decision to have Jeannie marry her master, Tony, especially since her character became so independent and empowering to housewives everywhere. I was very upset about it, she told Forbes in an interview. Not that anybody would listen to me. When asked if she brought her concerns to any of the producers, Eden admitted she did not. No, I didn't. I guess if I'd asserted myself, yes, I would have, but I didn't. I talked about it. I said, this is ridiculous. She can't marry you. It's ridiculous. But it was okay. It was still funny. People could relate one way or another. Meanwhile, the sitcom's creator, Sidney Sheldon, agreed with Eden. What finally killed us was the head of our network in the 5th year saying, you have to get them married, he told Television Academy back in 2018. I Dream of Jeannie ran for 5 seasons from 1965 to 1970, with Jeannie and Tony's wedding airing on December 3rd, 1969. In 2016, Eden explained the impact that her character had on women. She was a very independent creature and very strong, in fact. I've had young women come up to me and say it empowered them, the actress said on Oprah. Earlier this year, Eden shared another shocking revelation about the beloved show. While on Jeannie Gart's I Choose Me podcast, the Woman Hunter alum said she loved wearing Jeannie's Jeannie outfit, which consists of pink and red pants, a bralette, a headpiece, and a crop jacket, and never felt objectified. However, the star did confess in the first year of Jeannie she was pregnant. She and then husband Michael Ansara had tried to have a baby for so long. Finally, I was pregnant, and I found out the same day they told me that Jeannie was going to go on the air. She called Sheldon and told him, I have to talk to you. I really have to talk to you in person. Eden recounted how she went to where he was having dinner, and despite her future on Jeannie being up in the air, she was so happy. I was so happy about the show too, but more happy that I was pregnant. I sat down there with a big grin on my face and said, you know, I'm pregnant and I can't do your show. She added, I couldn't keep the smile off my face. Eden explained she told Sheldon, I just had to let you know so you could recast it. That wasn't the television writer who died at 89 in 2007 had in mind, though. Sheldon told her, give it a couple days so they could see if they can work this out. The team ended up going forward with Eden and finding creative ways to hide her pregnancy. I can remember one time on the set, I came into work and there was a bikini. I looked at it and said, I can't wear that. The costume designer ended up telling season 1 director Gene Nelson. And Gene, who happened to have been a very good friend at my time, walked up to my dressing room and said, Barbara, you're never a diva. Why don't you put on a bathing suit? I said, Gene, I'm pregnant. I put it on. Gene came to the door and went, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. So they put a tire on my tummy. Eden explained they had added towels on top of the tire to hide the object. The actress noted that the I Dream of Jeannie mostly used lots of material in front of her to hide her belly bump. She gave birth to her son, Matthew Ansara, in August 1965. He died in 2001 at the age of 35 due to an accidental drug overdose. When Matthew was clean and sober, he was such a beautiful human being inside and out. Drugs are inexplicable. It's so frustrating. Yep. Barbara Eden, what a lovely lady. She's 93 now. And here she is, last year at 92 in Palma in Mallorca, Spain. 92-year-old Barbara Eden. What a stunningly lovely woman. Wow. Oh, Escom caught it with burning diesel fuel. Yeah. I don't think there are any pictures of Michelle Obama ever being pregnant. The most important thing will always be the people in this room right here, right now. Right here, right now. Watching the world. Yeah, good song. Barbara Eden. Wow. Pretty wild, man. How do we get on Barbara? We got on Barbara Eden because we started with Sybil Shepherd. Yeah. So she starred in the title character in the sitcom I Dream of Jeannie. Other roles included opposite Elvis Presley in Flaming Star, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Harper Valley PTA. Yep. And she was married to Michael and Sarah. Tucson, Arizona. Wow. Here she is with her son, the one that died at the age of 35. Shame. Drugs, man. Michael Ansara was born in the Mandate for Syria and the Lebanon in 1922. He lived to be 91 and died in 2013. Wow. Here he is with his wife on I Dream of Jeannie, Michael Ansara. He did a lot of movies, man. A lot of movies and television. There he is playing American Indian. Played a lot of roles as Indians because of his appearance and his voice, deep voice. Michael Ansara. That was a name I grew up watching. Yep. He played Kang in the original Star Trek series, in Deep Space Nine, and in Voyager. Yep. Also played in Buck Rogers in 25th Century. Yep. Yep. What a career. Wow. It's nice to know that we have friends right here, Kathy says. Yep. We need to cool off a picture of Janet Reno. Do you have a touch of attention deficit disorder? I was told I do, as words send me singing random songs. No, I don't have ADD. Nope. I just process. I do multitasking. That's the thing. I'm doing so many things at once. And as you get older, it's becomes more challenging to hold on to that ability. I mean, I've always had the ability to, hold a thought, hold a question, sit through an entire press conference, remember my question from the beginning and pop it out. And not just press conference, but back when I used to brief commanders and such. Yep. So I could bring up most obscure facts and information and bring it together. No, I don't have ADD. Just I have lots of interest. Lots of interest. I mean, life is amazing. It's truly amazing. Life is a gift. It's so cool. So many things to do. So many things to say. It's just amazing. Going to Joburg this afternoon. The girls already prepared me to have enough data on my phone. Oh, that's cool, Julie. That's awesome. Americans live for a long time. Well, Georgians live for a long time. Americans can live a long time. Not all do. Hyperactive, says Philip. Okay. All right. So, any ideas for a song tonight? Any ideas for a song? We haven't made a song tonight. Anybody got any ideas? Thinking about one for the hip replacement. Yeah, definitely a photograph of Janet Rita would cool me off. Klaus Ulrich, welcome. What's up? Charles, what's crap? I'm sorry to hear that. Do penguins have knees? They don't. They don't. Do penguins have knees? That could be a song. Oh, let's do that. Do penguins have knees? Why not? That'll be fun. Okay. Raising, there we go. Spell check's pretty good here. Style. Let's try that one. Let's see what happens. Do penguins have knees? I hope this one's good. Titanium hips and lyrics. Do penguins have knees? Okay, let's see how it sounds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Waddling around in their icy suits, little tuxedo troops in boots. Do they have knees? Do they bend? Or just straight lines to the bitter end? Rocket like beneath the waves, clumsy kings on snowy graves. Do penguins have knees? Tell me please, do penguins have knees? Mystery of the seas. On the ice they shuffle slow, a penguin parade where the cold winds blow. But underwater, oh they fly, fins like wings cutting through the sky. Falling stars on frozen shores, legs or not they still endure. Do penguins have knees? Tell me please, oh, do penguins have knees?
I can't play copyrighted music. I'll get a strike.
A secret tease.
You guys think I can just play anybody's music? I can't. It is pretty good. The lyrics are awesome. It's nice and chill too. Alright, that's version 1. Here's the second one. Jackass penguins.
Waddling around in their icy suits, little tuxedo troops in boots. Do they have knees? Do they bend? Or just straight lines to the bitter end?
Yeah, first one's better.
Rocket like beneath the waves, clumsy kings on snowy graves. Do penguins have knees? Tell me please, do penguins have knees? Mystery of the seas. On the ice they shuffle slow, a penguin parade where the cold winds blow.
Yeah, the first one's better. Alright, so that one I'll download. Do penguins have knees? Good stuff. The first one was better. Yeah, it's good stuff. That was Afrobeat. I did ska, Afrobeat, disco, and I was doing a lot of reggae. A little too much reggae there, so. Right, okay, so that's pretty cool. I was thinking about doing one about fake news. Fake news, fake news, fake news. Same genre as the Meerkats. Well, that's new wave. I can try new wave. Let me just double check. Meerkats, it was a synth pop or new wave? Let me see. Meerkats. Come on, where are the meerkats at? Gosh, I got so many songs I made now. Scandalous Nights in Cape Town. That one must not have gone very well. I didn't do anything with that. Where are the meerkats at? Not there. There it is. Meerkats. New wave male vocals electronic. That's what it was. Okay, we'll do that then. New wave. New wave. Male vocals electronic. Okay, that's what I came up with for meerkats. Okay, let me get back to the first one here now. Okay, all right, here we go. Let's trait this one now. See what happens. Okay. Magnitsky. What about it? Ronnie Jackson, Adrian Basson. What about those three things? Okay, you wanted the same genre as meerkats, so I've done it. Let's see how it goes now. Do it for me. It says promise. Synthesizer's going. Billy Idol, yeah. Wide wedding.
So cold.
Yeah.
Little suits, black and bold, tuxedo army marching slow. Do they bend? Do they fold? Rocket sleek, underwater glide on the shore. They start
like the first one better, Husky? Huh? Okay. Yeah. People like different genres. That's why I try them all. Yes, Andre Mustard, I will be doing the game on Saturday. I don't know if I'll be able to do the games in the UK, whether I have coverage or not, and be able to watch it. I'm going to take my headphones so that I can play my laptop and try to broadcast off my phone, but that's a little problematic. We've done that before. I did that with Hank when I was in South Africa to cover a game. It worked okay, but I can't put the score up, so people will moan about that, and that's a tough one, yeah. So watching it on my phone is going to be, unless it's on the TV, I can watch it on TV, then I'll be able to watch the TV. But I can't plug my headphones into that, so it doesn't work very well. So what is happening September 1st? By the way, folks, so if you're curious, not that anybody is, but just in case you're curious, let me get back over here. So I am down to 64,513 unread email messages. Some of you might be saying, that's amazing. But remember, I had, folks, 419,000 unread email messages. And I can't figure out how online to do it, but someone kindly figured this out for me. And now I know how I can check my storage. I don't know what I started with. I really don't know what I started with. It must have been a lot. But now I know that I was down to 29 megabytes earlier today after taking it down to where it's at now. So now I found a way to check this in my app. So I click up here. And it says I have 29.24 still used. Okay, yep. I need to free up 9 gigabytes. Yep, while I'm working on it, 9 gigabytes. Anyway, so yeah, hopefully what I've got left will go down to 9 gigabytes. Yeah, so I'm really taking a lot of messages out. I don't know what the other 350,000 were as far as space, but I'm hoping that it took me from like 100 down to 29 easily. But who knows? It could be a lot of attachments left in here, so I don't know the answer on that. But the bottom line is that I've taken a lot of email out, a lot of email. It's pretty crazy how many emails I had there. So anyway, yeah, wow, it's pretty amazing stuff. So, all right. Mosquitoes won't come in here. Well, mosquitoes usually don't bother me very much. My blood type, I don't think they find very appealing. This one tells a better story. Always curious, Colonel. Okay, Julie. I am doing the Springboks game. Yep. I'm also doing probably the province game before that morning, and I'll do one on Friday, too. Sunday, I won't be able to do it. Well, no, actually, I think I'll be able to do the game on Sunday because I'm flying, but it's in the evening. So, yeah, unless they screw my flight up again like they did when I tried to fly that previous trip. I barely made it out of here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Springboks game. I expect them to win, but who knows. Speaking of which, I looked up the lineups earlier because I'm going to report on that again. Where the heck is the news at? There it is. I've got them here. Box. Okay. So we've got Ophelia Fossey at fullback, Edwil Fondemava on the right wing, Jesse Creel and Andre Esterhuizen in the center, Kurtley Arnsey on the left wing, Monty Libbek is the fly half, Grant Williams at scrum half, Sia Khaleesi, Peter Steph Dutoy, Marco van Staden, Lut de Jager, Eben Etzebeth, Vilko Low, Malcolm Marks, and Oxen Shea. Off the bench, Bongi Ambanambi, Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Asenati Labakanye, Franco Mostart, Coggan Smith, Kobus Reinhardt, Katie Moody, and Damian Willemse. I mean, you've got Bongi Ambanambi, Franco Mostart, Quagga Smith, Kobus Reinhardt, Kanan Moody, and Damian Willemse on the bench. That's just world class. Those would be all starters for any country around the world. They love Rudolph's blood. No backup at 10. Well, let me see. Damian Willemse in a pinch can play the number 10. In a pinch. I think Jesse Creel can play it too. Not sure about his kicking ability though. Yep. Yeah, but there is no backup. No, Arge Snyman or Cheslin Colby. That's what got my attention, Xavier. Where are those two at? Where are Arge Snyman and Cheslin Colby? Yep. Yeah, that's what I just said. Damien could play in the backup number 10. He's not the best at it, but he could do it. Cycling Journeys has to go. Sorry to see you go. Anyway. Anonymous says mosquitoes like my blood. Philip knows nothing about rugby, but he shares our enthusiasm. Well, we appreciate that, man. Rugby rocks. All right, Andre Mostart, you take care. All right, guys, I'm going to make a video, and I'd appreciate if people go watch it, about the State Department report coming out. Let's see if I can beat the South African content creators to the punch, because the story came out after they all went to bed. And so maybe I can get it out before they do. Yeah, I think they are probably saving them for New Zealand. Yep. And I think the same thing with Sasha Feinberg, Zulu, and Pollard. Yep. The problem with this approach is that we may win, but you get players that aren't going to get those 150, 200 tests. You know, it's crazy. I'm doing okay, Hanu Cup. Thank you. Okay. All right, that's going to wrap it up here, folks. Be sure to hit the like button. We got 300 likes, 1,500 views for the Night Owls. Not bad. And once again, I want to send my profound thank you, my gratitude to the folks who helped me at the Orthopedic Institute of Pennsylvania today, who helped me get in processed, and those who treated me. And it wasn't the outcome I was looking for, but you know, that's not their fault. It's just the way things go. And thank you to my viewer earlier who told me about was Hannes Kruger, who told me about the Suplacin lubricant. Okay. All right. Cool. They do that before the surgery. All right. Okay. Need to get ready for work. Thanks for a great morning. Thanks for the great song. Just don't have my answer. What's your answer? What is your answer, Xavier? I don't understand. What's your question? I missed it. What's your question? Well, Philip, those people were very nice to me. Peter Steph-Toy, best player. He has been the best player, but I don't know if he currently is the best player. He's a great player. Kevin Amarula. Oh, Amarula. Oof. It's a bit late for that. It's a bit late for that. Do penguins have knees? I answer the question. They don't. Actually, I think they do. Anyway, that's going to do it, folks. Cheers. Be safe, and we'll catch you later in the day. Hopefully people will tune in. It'd be nice to have a nice audience, a big audience. This was a good audience tonight. Thank you all for being here. Usual suspects, a few new faces. Always a pleasure. Good night, everybody. See you later on. And watch my videos, please. 3,500 views. Oh, gosh. I need 150,000. Cheers.